nowadays. Is anyone not a Mario Brothers fan? I mean, I guess if you're not into video games, okay. But I'd assume even diehard Sony fanboys will still have fun with the Italian plumber and his adventures every now and then. I know I do. Does anything really top playing through Super Mario Bros. 3 during some hot summer day? Kicking back with a cold drink and yelling at the TV? Not sure on that one. Anyways, new Super Mario Bros. Wii. Could Nintendo not think of a shorter name at all? The year is 2009, around 3 years after the initial release of the Nintendo Wii, and we get the first 2D Mario game in 14 fucking years! Now, Nintendo, as they have in the last probably decade or so, decided to play things safe and just recycle the Mario Bros. Release on the DS in high resolution, and release it as a, quote, new game. As I said before, this game is literally Super Mario Bros. 3, 25 years later, redone on the new system. Nintendo counts on this, as they really have no new ideas or IPs at this point, and just keep using the same 3 franchises, and a few reboots thrown in to keep people buying their systems and games. Let's get into it. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was released in 2009, and if you've played the release on the Nintendo DS, guess what? It's the same game, on a console. Because, you know, Nintendo can't be bothered to create anything new or revolutionary, or anything else. Their business model is just recycling. Plain and simple. In the generalist sense, it's a Mario game. You run, you jump, you collect power-ups, you stomp enemies, you hit blocks and question marks, and hit a pole at the end. There are other things added in, but it's still the basic model. As with every other Mario game ever made, the princess gets stolen, and since you have nothing better to do, it's time to rescue her. You set off across 8 different worlds. If you've played a Mario game before, then you know them pretty well. It's fun to see the Koopalings return after nearly 3 decades out of the limelight. Much like Super Mario Bros. 3 again, you have an inventory system as well for mushrooms, flowers, and whatnot. Speaking of the Koopalings, each of them occupies a certain world, and the castles contained therein. Other than that, it's just the same old. Same old. While the graphical details have been vastly improved over the DS release, at the time this game came out, it still wasn't HD. Yes, even in 2009, when HD TVs had been out for nearly 4 years minimum, Nintendo decided that affordability and having junk hardware was more important. You move through each level, completing them, gaining power-ups, collecting coins, on your journey towards the princess. As with the DS version, you of course have the Super Mushroom, the Fire Flower, and the Superstar. Added to this version of Mario, you have the Ice Flower, which makes you throw snowballs, the Top Hat, which makes you twirl around like a crack addict, and the Penguin Suit, also basically worthless. Well, it does help you walk normally on ice, but that's it. The Koopalings make a great return to the franchise, and are always welcome to any new game. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my personal nostalgia. Maybe it's from years of playing Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. Having them as adversaries just fits, and always gets me excited. Much like the DS release before, this game has 8 worlds in total. These are grass, desert, snow, beach, Forest of Illusion, Chocolate Island, Sky, and Hell once again returns. There are several stages per world, as well as mushroom houses, one-up houses, the occasional star house, ghost houses, randomized enemy fights that yield 3 super mushrooms if you're successful, and hidden pathways to warp cannons and shortcuts through the world too. At first I had a hard time remembering which levels had alternate exits to access the warp cannons. Then I learned, all you have to do is pay attention to the color of the flag at the end of the stage. If the flag is black, there's only one exit. If it's red, then there's multiple exits. So at least that helps one narrow down which levels have secret exits. Yoshi returns as well. Yay! Unfortunately, he is only usable in the stages where you find him, and afterwards you must leave him behind. Graphically, the game is fantastic. This is probably one of the best looking games on the Wii. Granted, the Wii wasn't really designed around making HD level visual standouts, but Nintendo did a great job with this one. Colors are vibrant, enemies and objects were given great design, and the environments were also given a decent level of attention. Other secondary effects like shadows, translucency, fire, and snow are all added very well. Audio-wise, it fares just as well, too. The music is great, the sound effects are good, the voices and verbal sounds could have been a little better done. At this point, can't Bowser make any other noise besides growl and a meaner growl? You'll also notice that once you progress a certain distance into each world, an annoying crying toad will appear in one of the stages you previously finished. Your objective then is to play through the stage again, rescue the toad via carrying him to the end of the stage, and you're rewarded with 3 1-ups. Not really something major or required to finish the game, but still to occupy yourself. There are many new play mechanics added to this release. You have the obvious motion control gimmicks like shifting, sliding, and tilting, but you also have things like a pressure board, glowing blocks, and invisible coins, which are made invisible after you pass through their outline. The level design isn't too challenging, but does have a nice variety in the layouts. Then Nintendo decided to be dicks and brought back the snaking platform from not only Super Mario World, but New Super Mario Bros. As well, and thought, hey, that's such a great gimmick, let's make it ice as well! What the fuck? And for the love of God, why auto-scrolling levels again? Fucking hate auto-scrolling! Nintendo, stop! The airship stage from Super Mario Bros. 3 makes a triumphant return, and even remixes the music as well, which kicks ass. You make your way to Bowser's castle, and after a rather mundane battle, you drop his ass into molten lava. The world is at peace. Wait. It's Kamek! And he has one last trick up his sleeve. He casts magic over Bowser, and creates a giant Bowser. Now it's just a race to the finish, and to stay alive. This part of the game actually looks harder than it is. Basically, Bowser's fireballs will blast holes in the bricks for you to advance. Make it to the actual end, and you finally kick his ass for good. Or at least until the next Mario release. Mario and Toadstool sail off into the sky in a hot air balloon, and your adventure is complete. Lastly, there is the multiplayer aspect of the game, where you and up to 3 other friends can all play cooperatively. I've tried this, and while it might have seemed like a good idea, if you're like me, and usually play with people of less skill, 90% of the time you'll either outrun the rest of your friends, or they'll just get killed trying to keep up. Also, this makes the issue of deciding who gets what mushroom house or item even more of a pain in the ass. Overall, New Super Mario Bros. Wii was one of my top games on the Nintendo Wii, and I'm still on the fence as to where it ranks on the overall Mario charts. If I was asked, I'd probably place it somewhere between Super Mario World and Super Mario Galaxy 2, which would make it into the top 5, but definitely not number 1. That spot still belongs to Super Mario World in my book. Whether you decide to play this game solo, as I normally prefer to do, or you play with friends, I'm sure you'll have just as much fun as I have. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, go check this title out.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
Don't forget to check out my Twitch account for live shoot-'em-up action, my real-time playthrough videos, MAME Mondays, and other fun gaming videos as well.